10 years ago, when I was returning home from a road trip with two friends, I received a phone call from my parents asking when we would be arriving, and I explained that we were about 25 minutes away. About a minute later, we came around a bend. It was a full moon, and we could see the reflection from the lake below us, and other than that, the road was completely empty. Suddenly, everything went completely dark in the car. No lights from the dash or gauges or headlights on the road. The music also stopped and restarted at the beginning of the CD we were listening to. There was now a vehicle pulled over by the police about a quarter mile in front of us that hadn't been there just a split second before. I assumed I had dozed off for just a second as it was late. I thought it was still quite peculiar though. After about a minute, the driver of the car tuned the music all the way down and said, "Did that just happen to anyone else?" The other passenger in the back seat sat forward abruptly and exclaimed, "I thought I just fell asleep." We then realized that the clock in the car was reading an hour later than it just had a minute before. To keep ourselves from freaking out, we decided that the car had possibly had a momentary electrical failure and reset the clock to an odd time, turned off the dash lights, headlights, and gauges, and restarted the CD player. But when we arrived home 25 minutes later, we were an hour late. I am missing an hour of my life, and to this day, I have no idea how it happened. So, just 3 days ago, I was at a party with my girlfriend, and some of our friends and we were standing around outside of the house when this car rolls up, and these really scary guys get out of the car. They started asking for the person who was throwing the party. I think they were mad because they weren't invited, and someone pointed out our friend, who was the host, standing with us. Then they started getting in his face, and me being me, I jumped in the middle of it all and tried to get them to back off. Then things got crazy, and one of them pulled out a gun, and I guess shot me. I don't really know how the hell it happened, but the guy shot me, and it was so weird. I felt a very odd sensation in my chest that was almost painful, but then everything was just so suddenly bliss. It's probably the best high I've ever felt. It gets even weirder though, because as soon as this feeling started to settle in, I started seeing myself in the third person. As in, I could see everyone screaming and running into the house, the guys fleeing, my girlfriend and my friends cradling my body. I looked awful. It was scary. I think I might have actually been shot in the chest, but everything went by so quickly, so I wasn't really able to tell. All of a sudden, I felt this really quick pulling sensation, like I was being pulled forward, and then, bam, I'm right where I was before the guys even came, standing around and talking to my friends. No one even seemed to notice what I just experienced. So after seeing all that, I suggested everyone outside should go in the house, so we did. Then, soon enough, the same guys rolled up to the house. Except, when my friend hosting the party looked out the window, he decided they looked fishy and advised everyone to stay inside until they leave, and eventually they did. I honestly don't know how to even explain what just happened, and haven't bothered telling anyone I know, because I just don't know how to tell them without sounding like a crazy person. Once, about 7 or 8 years ago, I was on a road trip with my family. We had a wonderful vacation in Disney World for a week, and were driving back home to Houston from Orlando. I had fallen asleep in the back seat, and I have no idea how long I had been asleep. I swear, 100% my hand on a Bible, I remember having the most vivid dream of burning alive. I was so hot, and I just felt the fire burning me alive. I could hear it crackling, and I could hear faint screaming. I could even smell the smoke in my dreams. I awoke when my mom had slammed on the brakes pretty hard. I woke up sweaty and super anxious. There was something off, and I could just feel it in the pit of my stomach. I asked my mother why she had slammed on the brakes, and she just said something about traffic starting randomly on the freeway. We were in slow bumper-to-bumper traffic for about 10 minutes, enough to let me catch my breath and reflect on my dream and tell my family what I saw. Then, we came up to why there was such random traffic. A car had slammed into the pillar of an overpass and was entirely engulfed in flames. No ambulance, fire trucks, police, or anything had arrived yet. Just Samaritans pulled over trying to help whoever was inside get out. Immediately, I knew they were not alive, and I was just experiencing what they were. I busted into tears. I will never forget that experience. Every morning, on my way to work, I'd go through a shopping mall. On a bench in the mall, there would sit this elderly man, appearing to wait for someone. The guy was fairly anonymous, but always had some small flair that made him look like he was trying to be hip, but not really making it. A golfer's cap, a vest, loggers boots, and stuff like that. Every morning when I walked by, I noticed him and always wondered who he was waiting for. For 4 years, as I walked by, I never saw him actually meeting anyone. So, I get a new job and begin working in another part of town. 3 days in, when I walk from the subway towards work, the same guy is sitting on a bench, waiting for someone. So, here's a little backstory. My friend, who is an African American, is shooting for a documentary that she's gonna present to an upcoming film festival. For the movie, she's shot at locations in Canada, the USA, and South Africa. A few months back, I got a call from her in which she told me she wants to visit India and shoot there also. I was one of her Indian friends, and so me and my younger sister made plans, and the three of us booked tickets to India from the 20th of June to the 10th of August. Another thing, my family lives near a city called Jaragon, which is about 6, maybe 7 hours away from the Delhi airport. So, we reached India in the evening of June 21st, and so we all decided to book a hotel for the night, and decided we would go see my family the next day. The next day, we leave from Delhi to my village in a taxi, and the drive was about maybe 7 hours because of traffic. Well, the moment the taxi pulls up outside my house, me and my sister were obviously very excited because we were seeing our family after 5 years, and we were just expecting everyone to be really happy and excited. The gate was open, so the three of us enter, and from far away I see my aunt knitting, and she looks up and gives me a smile. That's all? Okay, maybe she didn't recognize us. We go closer and enter the house, and I see my grandma, who comes up to me and hugs me, and then she says, "We didn't get a chance to talk last night, but today I will make sure you sit with me, so we have enough time to catch up on things." Okay. Then, while we are walking in closer, my other aunt comes out with a tray of snacks and says, "Did you guys find the cable you were looking for?" And at this point, everything seems a bit odd. These guys recognize us. They know exactly who we are, but aren't even excited to see us after so long, and keep asking and saying confusing things. So, we sit down, and after hearing a bunch of other questions, I realize I really need to figure this out. I ask my aunt what cable she was talking about. She tells me that the three of us woke up early morning and left to the nearby city to go purchase what they described as an extension cord. Wait, what? This is the first time I've entered this house in 5 years. What the hell are they talking about? I look to my sister and she says, "Oh shit, Carmen, we couldn't even find the cord anywhere. How are we gonna charge our devices now?" I shot my sister a very confused look, and I tell her I don't know what cord she's talking about. I tell her our whole family is acting strange. They're not even excited to see us after so long. And my sister goes, "Oh, you think they have to jump up in excitement every time they see us now?" And I was like, "What are you saying?" And she says, "Remember yesterday when we first arrived?" At this point, my sister is annoyed because she feels I'm acting strange and need to communicate better. After showering and eating, when we all decide to go have a nap, I decide I really need to talk with my sister. I tell her, "When did we ever meet these guys yesterday? We were in Delhi at the hotel." And there we go. My sister or my friend do not remember staying at the hotel. According to them, we took a taxi from Delhi to my village right when we landed. But that isn't possible. I remember the hotel. I remember sleeping in the room with the long curtains and the view from the balcony. I remember eating the hotel food. I remember the bathrooms and even the fuzzy slippers that I was debating to steal but didn't. Anyways, the other two did not have any memories of the hotel according to them. We spent the previous night in this very house. I remember leaving in a taxi from the Delhi hotel, and the whole ride me and my sister were discussing how excited they're gonna be when they see us. So, what was happening? This can't be a prank. No way. Was this a glitch? I think so. I'm still creeped out, and no, I was not dreaming. I was not hallucinating. I do not do any sort of drugs either. But every time I think of this experience, oh boy, my stomach turns. Because whatever happened that day, I'll never understand.